Of all the secrets hidden in plain sight, the greatest is this: you are already the person you long to become. The world reflects not what you wish for, but what you assume to be true. Desire alone changes nothing. It is the acceptance of the desired state as your present reality that shapes the course of events. There is no separation between who you are and who you wish to be, except the illusion of time. The moment you assume the feeling of your wish fulfilled, you shift into that reality. The mind, like a sculptor, molds the unseen substance of experience. Every action, every word, every thought aligns with the assumption that you are already the person others admire, respect, and seek. To act as though you are that person is not pretending. It is the recognition of a truth that already exists in the unseen. If you desire to be confident, walk as though confidence is your natural state. If you wish to be respected, speak as though your words carry weight. If you seek success, move through the world with the knowing that success is inevitable. The outer world is only a shadow cast by the inner assumption. Doubt and hesitation are the only barriers. To entertain them is to reinforce the old self, to delay the inevitable. Assume the feeling, embody the role, and the world has no choice but to conform. Reality is fluid, shaped by the certainty of belief. The law is simple. What you persistently assume yourself to be, you become. To truly understand the power of assumption, one must grasp the idea that everything we experience in life, every circumstance, relationship, and outcome, is a reflection of our internal beliefs. The most profound truth is that what we hold as true within ourselves shapes the reality that we live. This is not merely a concept or idea, it is a law of nature. The law of assumption dictates that the moment we assume something to be true about ourselves, we begin to shape our world around that assumption. It is not enough to simply wish for something to change in our lives. We must first act as if it has already come to pass. Assuming the feeling of the wish fulfilled is the key to unlocking a new reality. This does not mean pretending or putting on a mask. Rather, it means fully embodying the essence of the person you wish to become in your thoughts, emotions, and actions. It is the act of living in the end as though the outcome you desire is already yours. When you assume that you are the person who has already achieved what you desire, your inner state begins to align with that assumption, and in turn, your outer world begins to reflect it. This concept can be best understood by considering the simple idea of a role. Imagine you are about to take on a role in a play or a movie. Before you begin, you must know your character inside and out. You must understand how they think, how they feel, and how they move through the world. If you approach this role with uncertainty or hesitation, you will never truly embody the character. However, if you step into the role with full confidence, believing that you are the character, your actions will naturally follow suit. You will begin to speak like them, act like them, and think like them, and eventually you will become that character. This is the same process when it comes to assuming the feeling of your wish fulfilled. If you desire to be a confident person, for example, you must first assume the feeling of confidence. You must step into the role of confidence, not waiting for external events to trigger it, but choosing to embody it right now. The moment you do this, your thoughts, words, and actions will align with this assumption. Confidence is no longer something you are waiting to obtain. It becomes who you are in that very moment. Living in the end means that you are no longer focused on the gap between where you are now and where you want to be. Most people live their lives with a constant focus on the gap, the feeling of lack, of not having yet achieved what they desire. They look at their current situation and think that they must first change their circumstances before they can become the person they want to be. But this approach keeps them stuck in the cycle of waiting. The secret is to stop waiting and start living as if the change has already occurred. When you assume the feeling of your wish fulfilled, you are living in the end, in the present moment, and your life begins to shift accordingly. This shift is not a mere change in mindset or perspective, it is a complete transformation of your state of being. You no longer see yourself as someone striving to achieve something, you see yourself as someone who already has it. This subtle but powerful shift in perception allows you to take inspired action, to move through the world as though you already possess what you desire. And as you do this, the external world has no choice but to mirror back to you your new assumed state. Assuming the feeling of the wish fulfilled also means that you are not dependent on external validation or circumstances to affirm your new identity. In the old way of thinking, people often look to their external circumstances as evidence that their desires are coming to fruition. They may think, when I get the promotion, I will feel successful, or when I meet the right person, I will feel loved. But this is backwards. The true power lies in assuming the feeling of success or love before the external evidence appears. By embodying the feeling of your wish fulfilled, you are aligning with the energy of your desire, and this energy will begin to attract the circumstances that match it. The feeling of the wish fulfilled is not just a mental exercise, it is a deep emotional experience. It is the internal state of joy, peace, and certainty that comes from knowing that what you desire is already yours. When you feel as though you already possess what you seek, you radiate a magnetic energy that draws people and opportunities to you. This is the law in action. The universe does not respond to your words or your actions alone. It responds to the energy you are emitting. When you are in alignment with your desires, you naturally attract the people, circumstances, and opportunities that are in harmony with that energy. At first, this may feel unnatural or difficult, especially if you are used to living in a state of lack or wanting. But the key is to persist. The more you practice assuming the feeling of your wish fulfilled, the more natural it becomes. Over time, this assumed state of being becomes your default mode of operation. You no longer have to consciously remind yourself to act as if. It becomes second nature. You begin to live in a state of expectation, knowing that what you desire is already on its way. One of the most powerful aspects of assuming the feeling of the wish fulfilled is that it eliminates the need for forceful effort. Many people spend their lives struggling to make things happen, forcing circumstances to align with their desires. But when you assume the feeling of your wish fulfilled, you are no longer forcing anything. You are simply allowing your life to unfold in alignment with your assumed state. This is the essence of effortless manifestation. You are not striving for something outside of yourself. You are allowing it to come to you naturally because you are already living as though it is yours. This principle extends to every area of your life. Whether you are seeking financial abundance, love, success, or happiness, the same law applies. You must first assume the feeling of having already achieved what you desire. Once you do, you will find that the universe responds by rearranging itself to bring that assumption into physical form. Your life will shift in ways that may seem almost miraculous. But they are not miracles, they are simply the natural result of living in the assumption that you are already the person you desire to be. The power of assumption is not just a passive waiting game. It is an active practice of self-awareness and self-empowerment. By consciously choosing to live in the assumption of your desired reality, you are taking control of your life and stepping into your full potential. The person you desire to be already exists within you. The only thing standing between you and that person is your willingness to assume the feeling of that reality, to believe in it, and to act as if it is already true. So, as you move through your day, remember that the key to transforming your life is not in waiting for the world to change, but in living as though it has already done so. By assuming the feeling of your wish fulfilled, you are stepping into the role of the person you wish to become, and in doing so, you will create the reality you desire. The power of assumption is not a mere philosophical concept. It is a fundamental law of existence. It shapes not only the events in our lives, but also the way we perceive reality itself. What you believe to be true about yourself, your circumstances, and your place in the world directly influences the world around you. The law of assumption states that the world you see is simply a reflection of the assumptions you carry within your mind. These assumptions are like a blueprint that your life follows, and they dictate the course of events, interactions, and experiences you encounter. The more firmly you hold an assumption, the more it becomes ingrained in your reality. When you assume something, you are not just thinking about it on a surface level, you are deeply believing in its truth. This belief shapes your perception and directs your actions. Your assumptions about yourself, the world, and others are the lenses through which you interpret everything that happens. It is through these lenses that you create your reality. This process occurs not just consciously, but unconsciously as well. Many of the assumptions we hold are formed over time through our upbringing, experiences, and the environment around us. They become so ingrained in our thinking that we often don't realize how much they influence our lives. Take, for example, the assumption of self-worth. If you hold the belief that you are unworthy of love or success, this assumption will color every interaction and decision you make. You may unconsciously push away opportunities, fail to stand up for yourself, or settle for less than you deserve, simply because your assumption about your worth is so deeply embedded in your psyche. Conversely, if you assume that you are worthy of love, success, and abundance, your actions will align with this belief. You will attract people, situations, and opportunities that match your assumption of worth. The law of assumption dictates that your reality will always reflect your inner beliefs, whether they are empowering or limiting. This is the basis of the power of assumption. You are constantly creating your reality based on what you believe to be true. When you assume something to be true, you begin to see evidence of it everywhere. The universe doesn't question your assumptions, it simply brings them to fruition. If you assume that you are a confident person, you will begin to act with confidence. Others will respond to you with respect and admiration, confirming your assumption. If you assume that opportunities come easily to you, you will start to notice doors opening in unexpected ways. The key is that you don't have to wait for the external world to prove anything to you first. You must first assume that what you desire is already true, and then the world will mirror that assumption. The power of assumption also works with relationships. If you assume that people are kind, trustworthy, and loving, you will find that your interactions with others tend to reflect this belief. People will treat you with respect and kindness because your assumption about how they should behave has shaped your interactions. On the other hand, if you assume that people are untrustworthy or unfriendly, your experience with others will mirror that assumption. You may find yourself in situations where you feel betrayed or rejected simply because your internal belief about others was guiding your perception. The world does not deliver to you what you wish for. It delivers what you believe to be true. This process extends to every area of life, from financial success to personal happiness. If you assume that wealth is something that is difficult to attain or only available to a select few, your experience will align with that assumption. You may find yourself struggling to make ends meet or missing out on opportunities for financial growth. However, if you assume that abundance is your natural state, you will begin to notice ways in which prosperity flows to you. The key is that your beliefs are shaping your life. The world around you is simply reflecting the inner assumptions you hold about yourself and the world. Many people fail to understand this law because they mistakenly believe that circumstances must change before they can change their beliefs. They believe that they must first see evidence of success, love, or abundance in their lives before they can believe it is possible. But this is a backward way of thinking. The law of assumption teaches that the opposite is true. Once you change your assumptions, the external world will shift to match your new beliefs. This shift may take time, but it is inevitable. The more you consistently assume that something is true, the more your experience will align with that assumption. It is important to realize that the law of assumption is not about forcing things to happen or trying to control the outcome. It is about aligning yourself with the natural flow of life by assuming the feelings, thoughts, and behaviors of the person you want to be. The process is not about trying to make something happen. It is about recognizing that your world is already shaped by your beliefs. By assuming the feeling of your wish fulfilled, you are allowing the natural order of the universe to bring that wish to you. It is not about effort, struggle, or striving. It is about accepting the truth of who you are and what you desire, and allowing that truth to manifest. This understanding of the law of assumption is incredibly empowering. It places you in the driver's seat of your own life. You are no longer at the mercy of external circumstances, waiting for something to change before you can feel happy, successful, or loved. Instead, you realize that everything you need is already within you. The moment you shift your assumptions, the world begins to shift with you. This shift in perception is a powerful tool for transformation. It allows you to stop waiting for life to happen to you and start creating the life you want. The more you practice assuming the feeling of your wish fulfilled, the stronger your beliefs become. You begin to see the world through a different lens. The events that once seemed like coincidences are now seen as manifestations of your beliefs. The people who once seemed distant or unapproachable now show up as sources of support and connection. The opportunities that once seemed unavailable are now right in front of you. This is the magic of the law of assumption. It changes everything. It transforms the way you see yourself, the way you see others, and the way you see the world around you. The law of assumption is a constant, unchanging force. It works for everyone, regardless of background, circumstances, or past experiences. The only requirement is that you must be willing to assume that your desired reality is already true. This is the foundation of all creation. Your assumptions are not just thoughts. They are the building blocks of your reality. What you assume to be true about yourself, your life, and your world will manifest. The power lies in your ability to shape those assumptions and align them with the life you want to create. Living in the end is a concept that transcends mere wishful thinking or positive affirmations. It is a powerful and transformative way of being, one that shifts you from a place of lack and waiting to a place of fulfillment and knowing. When you live in the end, you are no longer focused on the gap between where you are and where you want to be. You are no longer looking for signs, waiting for confirmation, or hoping that things will change. Instead, you are fully immersed in the feeling that your desired reality has already manifested. You live in the assumption that the end result has already occurred, and in doing so, you align yourself with that reality. This shift in perception is not just a mental exercise, but a deep emotional state of being. Living in the end means fully embodying the feelings of having already achieved what you desire. It is the art of acting as if your dreams, goals, and desires have already come to pass. This is where the true power lies. When you stop looking for external evidence to prove that your dreams are achievable and instead begin to act as though they are already true. When you do this, the external world begins to mirror your internal state and the results follow. At the core of this concept is the idea that reality is malleable, shaped by your thoughts, beliefs, and assumptions. The world you experience is not fixed or predetermined. It is a reflection of your inner state. When you shift your internal state to one of already having achieved your desires, the universe has no choice but to align with that state. This is where many people struggle, waiting for something external to change before they can feel good or before they can feel that their desires are possible. But in living in the end, you understand that the external world is simply a reflection of your internal assumptions. Imagine for a moment that you have already achieved everything you desire. Feel the emotions associated with that accomplishment. Whether it is the peace of financial abundance, the joy of a loving relationship, or the satisfaction of a successful career. These emotions are the key. They are the essence of the reality you seek. Once you can truly feel as if you have already attained your goals, your energy shifts. You begin to act, speak, and move through the world as the person who already has what they desire. You no longer wait for circumstances to dictate how you feel. You choose to live in the assumption that everything is already in place. This is the magic of living in the end. When you act from this place, the universe responds in kind. The people around you begin to treat you as if you are already who you believe yourself to be. Opportunities open up, as if by chance, because your energy is now aligned with your desire. You are no longer waiting for the right circumstances to take action. Instead, you take inspired action from a place of confidence, knowing that your desired outcome is already secured. This shift in perception allows you to move forward without fear, doubt, or hesitation. You no longer feel the need to prove anything to anyone. because you already know that your success is inevitable. Living in the end also involves letting go of the need to control the process. Many people get caught up in the how of manifesting their desires. They want to know exactly how things will unfold and when. But when you live in the end, you release the need to control the timing or the method of manifestation. You trust that everything is unfolding as it should. Your job is not to worry about how or when things will manifest. Your job is to stay focused on living as if they have already manifested. This is the essence of faith, trusting that the universe will bring you everything you need at the perfect moment. This doesn't mean you sit idly by waiting for things to fall into your lap. Living in the end requires you to take action aligned with your assumed reality. However, the action you take will come from a place of inspired knowing rather than desperation or fear. When you believe that your desire is already yours, you move through the world with a sense of certainty, and the action you take is infused with that certainty. This is where the concept of inspired action comes into play. Inspired action is not forced or driven by anxiety. It is action that flows naturally from the energy of already having achieved your desire. Another important aspect of living in the end is the practice of gratitude. When you live in the end, you are grateful for everything you have, knowing that more is on its way. Gratitude is a powerful force that shifts your vibration and aligns you with the frequency of abundance. By expressing gratitude for what you already have and for what is already on its way, you open the door for more to flow into your life. Gratitude also reinforces the assumption that what you desire has already manifested. It is the emotional confirmation of your desire. Living in the end also involves an unwavering commitment to your vision, regardless of what appears to be happening in the outside world. Many people are tempted to give up on their dreams when they don't see immediate results. They may look around and think, it's not happening yet, maybe I'm doing something wrong. But when you live in the end, you understand that the external world is just a reflection of your inner state. If you stay committed to the assumption that your desire has already manifested, the world will eventually catch up to you. Your unwavering belief will become the catalyst for the outer world to shift and align with your vision. Living in the end is also about embracing the feelings associated with your desire. It is not enough to simply think about your goal. You must feel it in your heart and soul. This emotional alignment is what brings your vision into reality. When you fully feel the emotions of success, love, peace, or whatever it is you desire, you are in harmony with that desire. The feeling becomes the fuel that propels you forward. It is not the thought alone that creates your reality, but the combination of thought and feeling. This is where the power lies. When you feel as though you have already achieved your goal, you are operating at the same frequency as that goal, and the universe responds in kind. It is important to note that living in the end is not about denying current circumstances or pretending that challenges don't exist. It is about choosing to see beyond the present moment and to live in the assumption that everything is already as you desire it to be. Your current circumstances may not reflect your desires right now, but that doesn't matter. Living in the end requires you to focus on the end result, to feel as though it has already manifested and to act accordingly. The more you do this, the more your circumstances will shift to reflect your assumed reality. Living in the end also means letting go of attachment to specific outcomes or forms. Often people become attached to the how of their desires manifesting, but when you live in the end, you surrender the need for a specific outcome. The universe knows the best way to bring your desires to you, and your job is to trust the process. By living in the end, you are open to receiving in whatever form the universe chooses to deliver. When you live in the end, you are no longer at the mercy of external events. You have stepped into a state of knowing that your desires are already fulfilled, and this knowing gives you a sense of peace, confidence, and empowerment. You are the creator of your reality, and your internal state is the key to shaping the world around you. You move through life with purpose, certainty, and ease, knowing that the end result is already secured. You are not waiting for life to happen to you. You are making life happen for you. The feeling of the wish fulfilled is one of the most profound and transformative principles in the process of creation. It speaks to the heart of manifesting our desires. When you truly feel that your wish or desire has already been realized, it is as though you are stepping into the vibrational frequency of your desired reality. It is more than just mentally affirming or thinking about your goals, it's about fully embodying the emotions and energy of already having what you desire. The key to bringing anything into your life is not just to think about it or to hope for it, it is to feel it as if it already exists right now in this very moment. This feeling is not a distant dream or a future goal, it is an experience that can be felt in the present moment. The feeling of the wish fulfilled is not something you have to wait for or hope to someday achieve. It is something you can cultivate right now, within yourself. When you focus on how it feels to have your desires fulfilled, you shift your energetic state, and the universe begins to respond accordingly. The feeling of having already achieved what you desire aligns your energy with that of your goal. In essence, you are declaring to the universe that you are already living the life you seek. Most people operate under the belief that they need to wait for external circumstances to change before they can feel good, secure, or successful. They wait for the promotion, the relationship, the perfect health, or the abundance to appear before they allow themselves to feel joy or fulfillment. However, the true power lies in reversing this process. Instead of waiting for something to happen in your external world before you feel happy or successful, you must begin by feeling happy or successful first. The moment you can feel the fulfillment of your wish, you are in perfect alignment with the desired outcome, and it can then manifest in your physical reality. This emotional alignment is not a superficial attempt at positive thinking. It is a deep, authentic feeling that resonates with your core being. It's the feeling of already being the person who has accomplished the goals you've set for yourself. It's the joy of experiencing what you've always desired, even if the external world has yet to reflect it. The moment you start to truly embody that feeling of having already achieved your wish, you begin to move in harmony with it. This emotional state shifts your vibration and signals to the universe that you are ready to receive what you desire. The feeling of the wish fulfilled also allows you to transcend doubt and fear. When you feel as though your wish is already fulfilled, doubt loses its power. Fear can no longer hold you back. The internal shift is so profound that it alters the way you view your present reality. Instead of focusing on the lack or absence of your desires, you focus on the presence and fulfillment of them. You begin to see opportunities and pathways to your desires that you may have previously overlooked, because your energy is aligned with what you want, rather than what you lack. One of the most powerful aspects of the feeling of the wish fulfilled is its ability to attract circumstances, people, and opportunities that match the vibration you are putting out. The law of attraction teaches us that like attracts like. When you feel the fulfillment of your desire, you are vibrating at the frequency that desire, and the universe responds by bringing people, events, and situations that match that frequency. The more vividly you can imagine and feel your wish fulfilled, the stronger this magnetic force becomes. You draw to you the circumstances that allow your desires to come to fruition. It's important to understand that the feeling of the wish fulfilled is not about forcing yourself to feel happy or positive all the time. It is not about ignoring your current circumstances or pretending that challenges don't exist. It's about allowing yourself to access the emotional state of your desire fulfilled, even if your external world does not yet reflect it. You do this by consciously choosing to focus on the emotions you would feel if your wish were already realized. You tap into the energy of the outcome you desire and carry that energy with you, regardless of what is happening around you. When you consistently focus on the feeling of the wish fulfilled, it becomes easier to maintain a state of trust and confidence. You no longer feel the need to search for evidence that your desires are coming to fruition, because you are already experiencing the emotions of having them. The need to control the outcome diminishes, and you begin to flow with life, knowing that the universe is already aligning everything for you. This feeling of trust and surrender is a key component of the process. When you trust that your desires are already fulfilled, you release the resistance that often keeps them from coming into your life. The feeling of the wish fulfilled is also directly related to your self-concept. Your beliefs about who you are, what you deserve, and what is possible for you will shape the way you experience the fulfillment of your wishes. If you struggle to truly feel the fulfillment of your desire, it may be because your self-image does not fully align with the person who has what you want. This is why it is essential to see yourself as already being the person who has achieved the goal, even if the external circumstances don't yet reflect it. The more you step into that identity and fully embody the feeling of that person, the more your reality begins to conform to it. This shift in self-concept can be incredibly transformative. When you see yourself as already embodying the quality, success, or happiness that you desire, you begin to act in ways that align with that vision. You start making decisions from a place of self-assurance and confidence. Your actions become aligned with the energy of your desires, and the universe responds by providing you with the people, places, and opportunities that match your newly aligned frequency. The feeling of the wish fulfilled thus serves as a catalyst for change, propelling you into the actions and decisions that bring your desires to life. To truly embrace the feeling of the wish fulfilled, it is essential to immerse yourself in the emotions associated with your desires. Visualizing your goal or desire coming to fruition can be a powerful tool for creating this emotional state. When you vividly imagine yourself in the scenario where your wish is fulfilled, pay attention to the emotions you would experience. Feel the excitement, the relief, the joy, or whatever emotions are associated with the success of your desire. As you cultivate these feelings, you begin to align your energetic state with the fulfillment of your desire. The feeling of the wish fulfilled is not a one-time event. It is something that you must practice and nurture consistently. The more you immerse yourself in the emotions of your desires already being realized, the more effortless it becomes to maintain that alignment. Eventually, it becomes second nature, and you begin to live your life from a place of knowing that your desires are already on their way to you. The feeling of the wish fulfilled is the key that unlocks the door to manifestation. When you feel the emotional state of already having your desires, you are no longer waiting for something to change outside of yourself. You are living as though it is already true, and this belief propels you into a reality where your desires come into being. The more deeply you can feel the fulfillment of your wish, the more quickly and powerfully the universe will deliver it to you. The power of persistence and belief is the cornerstone of any successful manifestation process. It is not enough to merely think about what you want. You must persist in your belief that it is already done. Many people start their journey of manifesting their desires with enthusiasm, but they quickly falter when results do not immediately appear. This is where persistence comes in, maintaining unwavering faith in the process, even when the external world seems to be in opposition to what you are seeking. Belief is not just a thought or a wish, it is a deep, inner knowing. It is a state of being in which you hold the conviction that what you desire is already on its way to you, no matter how long it takes. The true power of belief lies not in hoping for the best outcome, but in having the absolute confidence that what you seek is inevitable. Belief aligns your energy with your desires and serves a magnet, drawing to you the necessary circumstances and opportunities. When you persist in believing, even when there is no immediate evidence, you begin to move in harmony with the universe, trusting that everything is unfolding as it should. Often, belief is tested by time. Manifestation is not always an instant process. It requires patience, trust, and the strength to remain steadfast in your conviction that your desires are already in motion. The challenge lies in not allowing doubt to creep in during the waiting period. When you persist in your belief, you create a strong vibrational frequency that keeps you aligned with your desires. Each moment of doubt you entertain is a moment that weakens the strength of your belief. Therefore, it is essential to consciously choose to stay rooted in the belief that your manifestation is coming, no matter the delay. Persistence requires a sense of inner security. It means standing firm in your desires and refusing to allow the world around you to dictate your worth or the timing of your dreams. In the face of apparent setbacks or slow progress, persistence keeps you focused on the end goal. It is the determination to keep moving forward even when the path ahead seems unclear or uncertain. This persistent belief does not falter when challenges arise because it is anchored in knowing that these challenges are not roadblocks but stepping stones toward your ultimate success. The practice of persistent belief can be cultivated through repetition and commitment. Every time you affirm your desires, visualize the outcome, or act in alignment with your goals, you are reinforcing your belief and sending a clear signal to the universe that you are ready to receive. Repetition strengthens your connection to the desire and makes it feel more real. The more you persist in thinking, feeling, and acting as though your desire is already fulfilled, the more the universe rearranges itself to bring it into your experience. One of the most powerful aspects of belief is that it must be persistent even when the physical evidence seems to be lacking. This is where many people give up. They see no immediate results and therefore lose faith in the process. However, the truth is that the physical world often takes time to catch up with the internal shifts that are taking place. The process of manifestation is not an instant one. It involves energetic shifts, changes in perception, and realignment of your beliefs and actions. The external world is merely a reflection of your inner state, and sometimes it needs time to mirror the changes you are making internally. Persistence is essential during this period of transformation. It is during the waiting phase that your belief is tested, and it is in this moment that your faith must remain unshaken. Another important element of belief is self-confidence. To believe in your desires, you must first believe in yourself. The belief that you are worthy of receiving your desires is crucial to the manifestation process. Many people struggle with the idea of deserving success or happiness, and this doubt can block their ability to manifest. Belief is directly tied to self-worth. When you believe that you are worthy of receiving what you desire, you send out a powerful vibration that aligns with the fulfillment of your wishes. On the other hand, if you harbor feelings of unworthiness or doubt, you unknowingly block the very things you want to manifest. Persistent belief is not just about believing that your desires will come. It is about having an unwavering conviction in your own ability to bring them into existence. The persistent belief also requires letting go of attachment to the outcome. This may seem counterintuitive, but the key is to persist in your belief without obsessing over the how or when of your manifestation. Belief is about knowing that your desires are already on their way, but it is not about controlling how or when they will arrive. When you persist in your belief, you allow the universe the space to bring your desires in the most perfect and harmonious way. Trusting the process means surrendering the need for immediate results or answers. When you can do this, you open yourself up to receiving your desires in ways that you may not have expected, but that are far more aligned with your highest good. Persistence also means acting in alignment with your desires, even when there is no visible evidence that they are coming. This is where faith becomes a powerful force. You may not see the immediate changes in your external world, but you must act as though your manifestation is already happening. This could mean taking inspired actions, making decisions that align with your desires, and continuing to affirm that your wish is already fulfilled. Even if nothing seems to change on the surface, the act of persistent belief and aligned action sends a message to the universe that you are committed to your desires. The universe responds to the energy you put out, and the more you persist, the more the circumstances and opportunities will begin to shift in your favor. Persistence in belief also involves staying emotionally connected to your desires. Manifestation is not just a mental process, it is a deeply emotional one as well. The more emotionally connected you are to your desire, the stronger your belief will become. If you persist in believing that your desires are already fulfilled, you will feel the emotions associated with having them. This emotional connection creates a powerful magnetic force that draws your desires closer to you. The emotions you feel about your desires will always be the driving force behind their manifestation, And the more persistent you are in feeling those emotions, the more powerful your belief becomes. Over time, persistent belief becomes second nature. It becomes part of your way of being. It is no longer a struggle to maintain your belief, because it is ingrained in your consciousness. The more you persist, the more the universe begins to align with your energy, and the faster your desires manifest. What starts as a conscious effort becomes an effortless state of being. Persistence in belief is the key to unlocking the full potential of manifestation. It is the unwavering faith that, no matter what, your desires are on their way, and that they are as good as yours already. When you realize that you are the creator of your own reality, you understand that no external validation or support is necessary for you to move forward. You have within you all the power and strength to bring about the changes you desire. The world you experience is the reflection of your inner state, and once you recognize this, you no longer seek approval from those around you. You are not dependent on others' opinions, beliefs, or actions to define your worth or determine your path. You must cultivate an unwavering belief in your own abilities. The moment you stop relying on others for reassurance, you open yourself to the infinite possibilities that exist within you. It is not arrogance, but the recognition of your inner power that allows you to move through life with confidence and certainty. You no longer wait for someone else to tell you that you are capable, because you know it inherently. In every circumstance, act as though you are self-sufficient, as though nothing and no one can shake your belief in your potential. This is not about denying help when it is offered, but about standing firm in the knowledge that you are whole and complete on your own. You have all that you need within you, and when you align with this truth, the external world will shift to reflect your inner state of self-reliance. When you walk through life as though you need no one else to validate your existence, you attract what is meant for you. The universe responds to your confidence, your self-assuredness. Your belief in yourself becomes magnetic, drawing the people and circumstances that are aligned with your highest vision. The power to create the life you desire has always been yours. And when you fully step into that knowing, you realize that the only support you need is the support you give yourself. So, act as though you are already everything you wish to be. Act as though you do not need the approval or assistance of others to succeed. When you embody this truth, the world will change around you. When you begin to understand the true nature of your own power, you realize that self-reliance is not merely a choice, it is a deep recognition of your inherent strength. The idea that you need external validation, support, or approval from others to create the life you desire is an illusion. In reality, the only thing standing between you and your fullest potential is your ability to trust and believe in yourself. The world you experience is the direct result of what you believe about yourself. Once you fully embrace the truth that all the support you need is already within you, everything begins to shift. There is a unique power that lies within the understanding that you are complete, whole, and capable in and of yourself. This power does not come from the external world, nor can it be found in the opinions or actions of others. It comes from the knowledge that you are the creator of your own experience. When you recognize that your internal state of being is the key to everything you manifest, you stop seeking support from outside sources and begin to tap into the boundless potential within you. This self-reliance is not about being independent to the point of pushing others away. It is not about denying the value of relationships or the power of collaboration. It is about knowing that you are not dependent on anyone or anything to shape your destiny. You are the one who decides the direction of your life, and you are the one who holds the power to change it. This understanding shifts everything because it frees you from the chains of needing external approval. You no longer wait for permission or validation from others to move forward with your dreams and desires. It is important to realize that when you stop relying on external sources for your strength, you begin to create your own reality from within. This does not mean that help or support from others is unnecessary. Rather, it means that your worth and ability to move forward are not contingent upon whether others are there to support you. You are enough on your own. When you acknowledge this truth, your confidence skyrockets. and the actions you take are driven by the firm belief that you are fully capable of creating the life you want, regardless of what others think or do. This internal sense of strength is magnetic. The world around you will begin to reflect back to you the confidence and self-assurance you hold within. When you act as if you do not need external support, you align with a higher level of energy that attracts the right opportunities, people, and circumstances to you. It is as though you are broadcasting a signal to the universe that you are ready to receive everything you desire, because you believe you deserve it. The more you trust in your own abilities, the more the universe responds by showing you evidence that you are indeed capable of achieving your goals. It's easy to fall into the trap of thinking that we need others to help us, to believe in us, or to guide us. Society often reinforces this idea through its emphasis on approval, affirmation, and external measures of success. We are taught that we need to have the right connections, the right mentors, and the right opportunities in order to succeed. However, this perspective is limiting. True success comes when you realize that you already possess all the qualities and abilities you need to thrive. It comes when you stop looking outside of yourself for approval or guidance and begin to look within. In every moment, you have the power to decide how you will respond to life's challenges. You do not need anyone else's approval or permission to take action. You are the one who chooses the direction you will go. If you are waiting for someone else to give you the green light, you are allowing them to control your fate. But when you step into your own power and take full responsibility for your life, you stop waiting and start creating. This is the true meaning of self-reliance. Not that you never ask for help, but that you understand you are the one who ultimately has the power to shape your destiny. When you understand this, you stop seeing obstacles as insurmountable challenges. Instead, you view them as opportunities for growth and transformation. You no longer rely on others to remove obstacles for you. You understand that you have the power within yourself to overcome anything that stands in your way. The more you tap into your inner strength, the more you realize that you are capable of navigating any situation with grace and resilience. You are not a passive participant in your life. You are an active creator, and in this process, you become more than just a survivor. You become a thriving force in your own life. This shift in perspective allows you to let go of the need for validation. You no longer seek the approval of others to feel worthy or capable. Instead, you affirm your own worth from within. You understand that your value is not determined by what others think of you or by what you accomplish in the eyes of the world. Your worth is inherent. You are valuable because you exist. And when you fully embrace this truth, you stop looking outside of yourself for the affirmation and support that you once thought you needed. In this new state of being, you become less concerned with the opinions of others. Their judgments and criticisms no longer hold the power they once did. You no longer feel the need to explain yourself or justify your actions. You act in alignment with your own truth, knowing that you are the only one who truly understands your vision and purpose. You are the one who has the power to decide what is best for you, and no one else can take that away. The more you practice self-reliance, the more you will notice how your life begins to shift. You will start to attract the people, opportunities, and circumstances that align with your inner strength and confidence. The universe will respond to your energy, and everything will begin to fall into place. It's not about forcing things to happen or striving to prove something to the world. It's about aligning yourself with your true power and allowing things to unfold naturally. When you know that you are capable, deserving, and enough as you are, the world around you will reflect that belief back to you. Self-reliance is about knowing that you are not just a passive recipient of life's experiences, but an active participant in creating them. You are the one who holds the pen and writes your own story. You are the one who shapes your reality. The moment you stop waiting for others to give you permission to succeed is the moment your life begins to unfold in ways you never thought possible. You have the power within you to create the life you desire, and you don't need anyone else's support to make it happen. When you shift your focus away from seeking approval and validation from others, you tap into a profound sense of freedom and personal power. The truth is that your worth, your potential, and your ability to succeed do not rely on the opinions or judgments of others. Too often we find ourselves seeking validation from family, friends, colleagues, or even strangers to feel good about ourselves or to feel that we are on the right path. But the moment you stop relying on external validation, you realize that the only opinion that truly matters is your own. External validation is a double-edged sword. While it can feel good in the moment when someone acknowledges or praises you, it is fleeting and unreliable. It is based on the perception of others, which can change from one moment to the next. If you live your life based on the approval of others, you are always at the mercy of their fluctuating opinions. This creates a fragile sense of self-worth that is dependent on forces outside of your control. When your sense of worth is dependent on external sources, you allow your self-esteem to be dictated by the whims of others, and that can be a dangerous game to play. If someone's opinion of you changes, so too does your sense of self. If you succeed in the eyes of others, you feel good, but if you fall short of their expectations, your confidence can crumble. The key to true empowerment lies in recognizing that your worth and value are inherent and do not require the approval of others. You are worthy simply because you exist, not because of what others think of you. When you begin to accept this truth, a weight lifts off your shoulders. You no longer feel the need to prove yourself to anyone, and you no longer worry about meeting others' expectations. This is not to say that you should disregard the opinions of others entirely, but rather that you should no longer rely on them to define your sense of self. Your sense of self-worth should come from within. It is built on the foundation of your own beliefs, values, and actions. When you live in alignment with your authentic self, your self-worth becomes a reflection of your own truth, not a reflection of what others think of you. The more you strengthen this inner foundation, the less you will be swayed by the opinions of others. You will stop seeking validation from the outside world and instead look inward for the affirmation you need. In order to stop relying on others for validation, it is essential to develop a deep sense of self-awareness. This means taking the time to truly understand who you are, what you value, and what you want from life. When you are clear about your own vision and purpose, the opinions of others lose their power. You no longer feel the need to seek their approval because you know exactly who you are and what you stand for. When you align with your authentic self, you become less concerned with what others think of you. You no longer look to them for reassurance or confirmation because you already know what you want and need. Another crucial aspect of shifting away from external validation is learning to trust your intuition and inner guidance. Each of us has an innate sense of wisdom and understanding that comes from within. When you learn to trust this inner guidance, you stop relying on others to tell you what to do or how to live. Instead, you make decisions based on your own inner knowing. This trust in yourself is liberating, as it allows you to make choices that are aligned with your true desires, not the expectations or desires of others. The more you trust your intuition, the more you strengthen your self-confidence and self-reliance. It is also important to recognize that no one knows you better than you know yourself. While others may offer their opinions, advice, and suggestions, they are not living your life. They do not know your unique circumstances, your dreams, or your inner desires. Therefore, relying on their opinions to guide you is not only limiting, but also counterproductive. No one else can determine what is best for you except for you. When you acknowledge this, you begin to take full ownership of your life. You stop outsourcing your power and start making decisions that are in alignment with your authentic self. Living without the need for external validation also means learning to embrace failure and setbacks as part of your growth process. Often, the fear of failure is rooted in the concern of what others will think of us if we fail. We fear judgment, rejection, and criticism. But when you stop seeking approval from others, you begin to view failure in a new light. Instead of seeing it as something to avoid, you begin to see it as an opportunity for learning and growth. Failure is not a reflection of your worth, but a stepping stone on the path to success. When you no longer care about what others think of you, you are free to fail, learn, and grow without the fear of judgment holding you back. This shift in perspective also allows you to step into your full potential. When you are no longer bound by the need for validation from others, you are free to pursue your goals and dreams without hesitation. You become unstoppable because you no longer second-guess yourself based on what others think. You trust yourself enough to take risks and move forward, even in the face of uncertainty. You understand that your success is not determined by others' opinions, but by your own belief in yourself and your ability to achieve your desires. As you stop seeking validation from others, you begin to attract people who support and appreciate you for who you truly are. These relationships are based on mutual respect and understanding, not on a need for approval. You no longer settle for relationships that drain you or make you feel less than because you are no longer seeking external validation. Instead, you attract people who celebrate your uniqueness and encourage you to continue growing and evolving. You surround yourself with those who see your value not because they need to, but because they genuinely appreciate you. When you stop seeking external validation, you are also free from the comparison trap. So often we measure our worth by comparing ourselves to others. We look at their achievements, their possessions, and their lives, and we feel either inferior or superior. But this constant comparison only fuels feelings of inadequacy and insecurity. The moment you stop seeking validation from others, you stop comparing yourself to them. You begin to focus on your own journey, and you understand that your path is unique. There is no need to compete with others because your only competition is the version of yourself that you were yesterday. The more you practice living without seeking approval, the more you cultivate a deep sense of inner peace and fulfillment. You realize that you are enough as you are, and you no longer need the outside world to confirm this. You are confident in your own worth, and this confidence radiates outward, attracting positive experiences and relationships into your life. When you stop seeking external validation, you become free to live authentically and unapologetically. You are free to be yourself, to follow your own path, and to create the life that aligns with your deepest desires. When you embody self-assurance and begin to act as if you don't need anyone's support, you create a magnetic force around you that naturally attracts the opportunities, people, and circumstances that align with your desires. This magnetism is not about trying to manipulate or control the world around you. Rather, it is about aligning your energy with your deepest convictions and letting the universe respond to that alignment. The energy you emit through your thoughts, beliefs, and actions is what determines what comes into your experience. It is like setting out a signal that others can pick up, and what you attract back into your life is a reflection of the confidence you carry within yourself. Self-assurance is not an external facade you put on. It is an internal knowing of your worth and capabilities. When you act from this place of knowing, it radiates outward in every interaction and decision you make. The more you trust yourself and trust that you can handle whatever comes your way, the more the world around you responds by bringing you exactly what you need. You begin to realize that your belief in your own ability is the most powerful tool you possess in manifesting the life you desire. It is not about waiting for the world to give you something in order for you to feel validated. Instead, you project your self-assurance into the world, and as a result, the world reflects back the same energy. This principle of magnetic attraction is not about efforting to get what you want. It is about letting go of resistance and trusting that everything you need is already within you. When you have confidence in your own abilities and trust the process of life, you no longer feel the need to chase after opportunities or beg for the approval of others. Instead, you attract the right people and circumstances into your life effortlessly. The universe will begin to respond to the energy you are sending out. As you act with self-assurance, you align yourself with the flow of abundance and opportunity, and you begin to see the evidence of this alignment manifesting in your daily life. People who act with self-assurance don't seek approval because they already know they are enough. They do not look to others to affirm their value, and because of this, they do not seek to impress or gain favor. They carry themselves with a quiet confidence that draws others to them. People are naturally attracted to individuals who are secure in themselves because it provides a sense of stability and clarity. When you stand firm in your own worth, others take notice and they are drawn to your energy. This magnetic quality is often the result of living authentically and aligning with your true self, rather than trying to be something you are not in order to please others. Self-assurance also translates into the way you make decisions. When you believe in yourself and trust your instincts, you are not paralyzed by fear or doubt. You make decisions with clarity and confidence because you trust that you can handle the consequences of your choices. This unwavering belief in yourself not only helps you navigate challenges more effectively, but also opens up doors to new opportunities. People who are confident in their abilities are not afraid to take risks. Because they understand that failure is not a reflection of their worth, they see challenges as opportunities for growth and learning. And because of this mindset, they are more likely to take action that brings them closer to their goals. The magnetic quality of self-assurance extends to all areas of life. In relationships, when you carry yourself with confidence and self-respect, others will treat you with the same regard. You will find that the people you attract into your life are those who support you, respect your boundaries, and align with your values. When you act as if you don't need anyone's approval, you set the standard for how others should treat you. You stop settling for relationships that drain you or make you feel less than, and instead, you attract people who recognize your worth and treat you accordingly. In the realm of career or business, self-assurance creates a powerful presence. When you believe in your own abilities and trust that you have something valuable to offer, you naturally attract opportunities that allow you to express your talents. Whether it's a promotion, a new project, or a business opportunity, the more confident you are in your skills and your value, the more others will see it. You are more likely to take risks and seize opportunities when you trust that you can handle the challenges that come your way. This self-assurance allows you to move forward with conviction, which leads to greater success and fulfillment. It is important to understand that this magnetic force is not based on ego or arrogance. Rather, it stems from an authentic belief in your own worth and abilities. When you act with self-assurance, you are not trying to prove anything to anyone. You are simply expressing the truth of who you are. People are drawn to this authenticity because it provides a sense of comfort and security. When you stop pretending to be something you are not and begin to express your true self, you attract people and situations that resonate with your energy. It is through this alignment that you create a life that feels authentic and fulfilling. The power of self-assurance is not limited to attracting positive situations and people. It also affects how you handle challenges. When you trust yourself and believe in your abilities, you approach difficulties with a mindset of resilience and resourcefulness. You are more likely to find solutions to problems because you don't waste energy doubting yourself or feeling defeated. Instead, you take proactive steps and trust that you can navigate any situation that arises. This confidence gives you the strength to persevere, even when things don't go as planned. As you overcome challenges with grace and composure, you become even more magnetic, attracting more opportunities for growth and success. The process of becoming magnetic through self-assurance is not a quick fix or a one-time event. It is a continuous journey of learning to trust yourself more deeply and consistently. The more you act with confidence, the more you reinforce the belief in your own worth and abilities. Over time, this self-assurance becomes second nature, and you begin to notice how your life transforms. You no longer feel the need to chase after validation, approval, or opportunities, because you have already aligned yourself with the energy of abundance and success. As a result, the universe begins to respond by bringing you the people, situations, and experiences that match your elevated vibration. The magnetic nature of self-assurance is a reflection of your inner state. When you believe in yourself and trust that you can handle whatever comes your way, you align with the natural flow of life, and the world responds by offering you what you need. You are no longer dependent on others to validate your worth or give you permission to succeed. Instead, you radiate a confidence that draws everything you need to you effortlessly. This is the power of self-assurance, a force that attracts opportunities, people, and experiences that align with your highest potential. When you begin to act as though you don't need anyone's support, you step into a space where you rely solely on your own inner strength and capabilities. This shift in mindset is crucial because it is rooted in self-empowerment, where you recognize that the foundation for your success and happiness lies within you, not in the approval or assistance of others. The process of transforming into someone who doesn't rely on others' support begins with understanding that the only person whose opinion truly matters in shaping your life is yourself. When you realize this, you start living your life from a place of internal validation rather than external approval. Relying on others for support, while common, often leads to a cycle of dependency that limits your personal growth and capacity to create your own outcomes. If your success, happiness, or confidence hinges on others, you place your emotional and psychological well-being in their hands. You give away your power when you expect others to validate your choices, your dreams, or even your sense of worth. This can create an ongoing sense of dissatisfaction as you constantly search for external reassurance that what you are doing or thinking is right. Unfortunately, external sources of support are often unpredictable and inconsistent, which makes it difficult to sustain confidence and inner peace. Instead of depending on others for validation, imagine if you could look inward and say to yourself, "I am enough and I can trust myself to make the right decisions." This shift isn't about rejecting the support of others, but about recognizing that you don't need it to move forward. When you stop looking outside of yourself for confirmation, you begin to rely on your intuition and instincts. Your inner voice becomes the loudest, most powerful force guiding your action. Trusting your inner wisdom and judgment makes you resilient, because when challenges arise, you know that you have the strength and clarity to navigate them, regardless of what others may think or say. When you stop relying on external support, you stop waiting for permission or for someone to give you the green light. You begin to understand that your desires, your dreams, and your aspirations are valid without needing anyone's approval. This is liberating because it allows you to take action without hesitation. You no longer second-guess yourself or hold back out of fear of being judged. Instead, you act decisively because you trust that what you are doing is aligned with your highest good. This mindset of independence empowers you to create your own path. You are no longer following someone else's vision of what success or happiness should look like. Instead, you begin to define success on your own terms. You are no longer influenced by the opinions of others or pressured to meet societal standards or expectations. This sense of personal autonomy allows you to be true to yourself without compromise. You are free to pursue what excites and inspires you, knowing that you are capable of achieving your goals through your own efforts. One of the most powerful aspects of this independence is that it allows you to stop looking for validation in the form of praise, recognition, or approval. Many people are conditioned to seek external validation as a way of confirming that they are on the right track. This might look like waiting for a manager's approval, a partner's praise, or a friend's admiration. However, when you act as though you don't need anyone's support, you stop seeking external validation altogether. Instead of looking to others for affirmation, you begin to validate yourself. You give yourself permission to feel proud of your accomplishments, regardless of whether others acknowledge them. This internal validation is transformative. It shifts your mindset from a place of seeking approval to one of self-affirmation. When you validate yourself, you begin to develop a deep sense of self-worth that is not contingent on anyone else's opinion. You no longer depend on others to tell you that you're doing a good job or that you deserve success. Instead, you recognize your own worth and affirm it to yourself. This self-affirmation creates an inner strength that makes you more confident, more resilient, and more able to handle whatever life throws your way. As you continue to act without the need for support from others, you also begin to develop a greater sense of self-reliance. This self-reliance is not about isolating yourself from others, but rather about trusting that you are capable of taking care of yourself, both emotionally and physically. When you stop relying on others for emotional validation or support, You learn to be more self-sufficient. You begin to rely on your own ability to regulate your emotions, solve your problems, and create the life you desire. This sense of self-sufficiency builds your confidence and allows you to face challenges with grace, knowing that you have everything you need within you. At the same time, this shift in perspective can help you develop a more balanced approach to relationships. When you no longer rely on others for validation, you are able to engage in relationships from a place of strength and independence, rather than neediness. Your relationships become healthier and more fulfilling because you are not looking to others to fill the emotional gaps in your life. Instead, you are able to bring your full, authentic self to relationships, offering love and support without the expectation of receiving anything in return. This creates a more harmonious dynamic where both parties can contribute freely and equally to the relationship without any sense of dependency or obligation. As you grow more independent, you also become less affected by the opinions of others. It's easy to become entangled in the judgments of others, especially when they are negative or dismissive. But when you stop seeking support from others, you develop a thicker skin and a greater sense of emotional resilience. You are no longer shaken by criticism or rejection because you know that their opinions do not define you. You are not seeking to please anyone, you are simply living your life according to your own values and desires. This emotional independence is incredibly liberating as it allows you to walk through life with a sense of inner peace, regardless of what others may think or say about you. The act of trusting yourself also encourages you to take risks and move beyond your comfort zone. When you no longer rely on the approval of others, you become bolder in your decisions. You stop playing it safe and start taking chances, knowing that you can handle the outcome no matter what it is. You start to see failure as an opportunity for growth rather than something to be feared. You trust that every experience, whether positive or negative, is a valuable lesson that will help you grow and evolve. This shift in mindset also impacts your ability to set boundaries. When you act as though you don't need anyone's support, you become better protecting your energy and your time. You learn to say no to things that do not serve you and yes to the things that align with your values and goals. You stop overcommitting or saying yes out of guilt or obligation. This ability to set healthy boundaries enhances your sense of self-respect and allows you to live more authentically. Acting as though you don't need anyone's support is not about rejecting help or support altogether. It is about empowering yourself to live from a place of self-sufficiency and inner strength. When you stop depending on others for validation, you begin to understand that you are your own greatest source of support. This self-reliance doesn't make you isolated or disconnected from others. Rather, it makes you more grounded in who you are and more confident in your ability to create the life you want. It allows you to live fully and freely, without the constraints of seeking approval or fearing judgment. You are no longer a passive recipient of life. You become an active creator, trusting in your own power to shape your reality. When you stop waiting for external validation and begin to trust in your own ability, something truly powerful happens. You become your own biggest supporter. This transformation marks the beginning of living a life where you no longer rely on the approval of others for your success, happiness, or sense of worth. The significance of this shift cannot be overstated because it aligns you with your true power. It is only when you trust yourself completely that you unlock the full potential within you to create the life you desire. Relying on external validation can be a subtle trap that many fall into without realizing it. From the time we are children, we are conditioned to seek approval from our parents, teachers, and peers. Society reinforces this by rewarding behaviors that align with its expectations, often telling us what is right and wrong, or acceptable and unacceptable. Over time, this external validation becomes ingrained in our psyche, and we start to believe that our worth is determined by others. We seek their praise, approval, and affirmation as proof that we are on the right track. But this constant need for validation creates an inner void, as we become dependent on external sources to define who we are. The truth is, When you rely on others for validation, you give away your power. You place the control of your life in the hands of others, and when their feedback is inconsistent or negative, it leaves you feeling unworthy or unsure of yourself. The journey to self-trust begins when you make the conscious decision to stop waiting for approval and start acknowledging your own worth. This doesn't mean rejecting others' support or feedback altogether. It means recognizing that their opinions are not the sole determinant of your value. When you stop looking outside yourself for validation, you begin to turn inward and listen to the voice that has always been there, the one that knows you are capable, that believes in your dreams, and that understands your true potential. This is where true empowerment lies. Self-trust is about trusting your own judgment, your own abilities, and your inner compass. It is about taking full responsibility for your actions, knowing that you have the strength and wisdom to navigate any situation that arises. Trusting yourself is an essential key to breaking free from the need for external validation. When you trust your own abilities, you no longer feel the need to seek permission or approval from others before taking action. You understand that you are fully capable of making the right decisions for yourself. The more you trust yourself, the less you rely on others to make decisions for you or to tell you how to live your life. Self-trust also allows you to embrace your own uniqueness. You stop comparing yourself to others or measuring your success against theirs. Instead, you begin to honor your own path, your own journey, and your own timeline. You recognize that your success is not determined by how others perceive you or how much praise you receive. Rather, your success is a reflection of your ability to trust yourself and take action based on your own inner guidance. As you grow in self-trust, you become more comfortable with taking risks and stepping outside of your comfort zone. When you trust yourself, you understand that you can handle whatever challenges may come your way. You realize that failure is not something to be feared, but rather a part of the learning process. You see each obstacle as an opportunity to grow stronger, wiser, and more resilient. This perspective shift enables you to act with confidence, even in the face of uncertainty. You begin to recognize that waiting for external validation is unnecessary because you already have everything you need within yourself. The more you act from a place of self-trust, the more you realize that you are capable of achieving your goals without relying on others to prop you up. You no longer need others to tell you that you are on the right track or to validate your decisions. Instead, you trust your own intuition and instincts to guide you. This trust gives you the courage to take bold actions and pursue your goals without hesitation. You stop second-guessing yourself or seeking approval, and instead you make decisions with clarity and conviction. This is where true freedom lies. When you no longer feel the need to prove anything to anyone or seek validation to feel worthy. Self-trust also allows you to set stronger boundaries. When you are confident in your ability to take care of yourself and make decisions, you are better able to protect your energy and time. You stop overcommitting or saying yes out of obligation. Instead, you learn to say no to things that don't align with your values or your goals. You are no longer afraid to assert yourself or express your needs. Setting boundaries becomes an act of self-respect because you know that you are deserving of respect and consideration from others. You no longer wait for others to give you permission to prioritize yourself. Instead, you make choices based on what feels right for you, not what others expect or demand from you. When you stop waiting for external validation and start trusting yourself, you become less affected by criticism or judgment from others. In the past, you may have been deeply impacted by the opinions of others, but now you realize that their judgment is not a reflection of your worth. You are not living for the approval of others, you are living for yourself. This mindset shift allows you to let go of the need to please everyone and to stop seeking the approval of people who may not even have your best interests at heart. You begin to see criticism as just feedback, not a personal attack. This detachment from external validation allows you to remain grounded in your own sense of self-worth. The decision to stop waiting for validation also allows you to become more resilient in the face of challenges. When you no longer rely on others to lift you up or tell you that you're doing well, you develop the inner strength to pick yourself up when things don't go as planned. You learn that setbacks are not a reflection of your abilities or worth, but rather an opportunity to learn and grow. This resilience is a natural byproduct of trusting yourself. You begin to realize that you are your own greatest source of support, and when you trust yourself, you find the strength to keep going even when the path is difficult. Self-trust encourages you to take full ownership of your life. When you stop waiting for others to tell you what to do or how to feel, you begin to take responsibility for your own actions and decisions. You realize that you are in control of your destiny. You no longer wait for someone else to give you permission to be successful, happy, or fulfilled. You are the creator of your own reality, and it is up to you to decide what you want to experience in life. The more you trust yourself, the more you begin to see that the power to shape your life has always been within you. In the process of cultivating self-trust, you will also begin to notice how the world around you shifts. As you stop waiting for validation from others, you start to attract people and situations that align with your newfound sense of self-worth. When you project confidence in your own abilities, others will recognize your strength and respond accordingly. You will no longer feel the need to seek out validation or approval because you will have already created the life you desire. You will begin to see that your self-trust not only empowers you, but also elevates the energy of those around you. Your confidence becomes contagious, and you begin to inspire others to trust themselves as well. When life seems overwhelming, when the weight of the world feels like it's pressing down upon you, remember that you have the power to change your circumstances. The key lies in your imagination. In every moment, you are creating your reality through your thoughts and beliefs. If the world feels like it is crushing you, don't succumb to the pressure. Instead, act as if you are already free, already triumphant. Imagine yourself not as a victim of the world, but as someone who is rising above it, walking through the challenges with strength and grace. The secret is in your response, not to the outer world, but to your inner world. Feel the power within you, the infinite potential that is always available. When you act as if the weight of the world has no effect on you, you start to embody the strength, peace, and success that you desire. The world does not have to define you. Your imagination is the key to transforming your experience. Every time you face a challenge, see it as an opportunity to affirm your power. Act as if you are already the person who has triumphed, who has overcome. In doing so, you align with your true essence, the essence that is beyond limitations, beyond external circumstances. You are not defined by the hardships you face. You are defined by the power you embody in response to them. When the world seems to crush you, stand tall within yourself, knowing that your inner reality shapes the outer world. Act as if and watch how the world shifts to meet the vibration you choose to create. The power of imagination cannot be overstated when it comes to shaping the life you desire. Often people look at their current circumstances and believe that their reality is determined solely by what is happening outside of them. However, the truth is that your external world is a reflection of your internal world, and it is through the lens of your imagination that you craft your reality. Imagination is not just a tool for daydreaming or wishful thinking. It is a force that has the power to reshape your life in profound ways. Your imagination is the gateway to a higher level of consciousness, where the limitations of the physical world no longer dictate your experience. When you begin to understand that your thoughts and beliefs are constantly shaping your present and future, you realize that you are the creator of your own reality. Every single thing you experience in life, whether it is joy or struggle, success or failure, starts in the realm of your imagination. The feelings, emotions, and beliefs that you hold about yourself and the world around you set the stage for what will unfold in your life. This realization gives you an immense amount of power. You are not at the mercy of external events or circumstances. Rather, you are the one who determines how those events affect you. Take a moment to think about how your imagination has already played a role in your life. If you have ever imagined a future scenario, whether positive or negative, You have already seen how powerful your mind can be. For instance, when you have anticipated a challenging situation, whether a meeting, an exam, or an important decision, how often have you imagined the worst case scenario? This mental imagery likely heightened your anxiety and stress levels even before the situation occurred. On the other hand, when you imagine success, when you envision yourself walking into a situation with confidence, calm, and clarity, your thoughts begin to shift your behavior in the direction of that success. You feel more prepared, more capable, and more empowered, and often you will find that the outcome reflects your positive expectations. Your imagination is not limited to abstract thoughts or fleeting daydreams. It is an active, creative force that operates at a deep subconscious level. Every thought you think, every belief you hold, and every vision you have for your life is directing the flow of your experiences. When you consciously choose to direct your imagination towards positive outcomes, you send a signal to the universe that you are ready to receive those outcomes. This is why it is so crucial to cultivate an awareness of your thoughts and imagination. Negative, limiting beliefs about yourself, the world, or your abilities can become self-fulfilling prophecies. If you constantly imagine failure, disappointment, or lack, you will find ways to manifest those experiences in your life. However, when you intentionally use your imagination to visualize success, abundance, and happiness, you align yourself with those experiences. To harness the power of imagination, you must begin by recognizing the immense creative force that lies within you. You are not powerless in the face of adversity or difficulty. Your mind has the ability to rise above the circumstances around you, and through imagination, you can manifest the changes you desire. Imagine a future where you are already the person you wish to become. See yourself as confident, capable, and successful. Feel the emotions of joy, peace, and accomplishment as if they are already your reality. This practice of living in the end as if the desired outcome has already manifested is one of the most powerful ways to use your imagination to create the life you want. The key to manifesting your desires through imagination is to believe with every fiber of your being that it is already done. You must not only visualize your desired outcome, but you must also feel it as though it is happening in this moment. The more vividly you can imagine yourself living the life you desire, the more real it becomes to your subconscious mind. Your subconscious mind does not distinguish between what is real and what is imagined. When you immerse yourself in a mental image of success, the subconscious begins to work behind the scenes to bring that vision into reality. It is important to understand that imagination is not just about wishing for something to happen. It is about creating a mental and emotional state that aligns with the desired outcome. It is about living in the end as if the reality you want is already unfolding. When you do this, your inner world shifts and you begin to operate from a place of certainty and conviction. The world around you starts to reflect this new state of being. Opportunities begin to appear, doors begin to open, and the universe aligns with your vision. Imagination is also a tool for overcoming obstacles. When life presents challenges, it can be easy to become consumed by fear, doubt, or frustration. However, by using your imagination, you can rise above these challenges. Imagine yourself navigating these obstacles with ease and grace. Visualize yourself finding creative solutions, staying calm under pressure, and achieving success despite the difficulties. This mental rehearsal can have a profound effect on your ability to face challenges in the real world. By imagining yourself succeeding, you shift your focus from the problem to the solution. You begin to see the opportunities in every challenge, and you are able to take inspired action to move forward. Imagination is a bridge to the future. It allows you to transcend the limitations of the present moment and experience the possibilities that lie ahead. When you imagine a future where your goals are already achieved, you are tapping into a realm of infinite potential. The more you use your imagination to explore these possibilities, the more your actions align with those future outcomes. This is not just a passive daydreaming exercise, it is a powerful process of creation. Your thoughts and beliefs shape the fabric of your future reality, and through the use of your imagination, you lay the foundation for what is to come. The more you engage in this practice of imagination, the more you will notice the synchronicities and connections that begin to show up in your life. Opportunities, people, and circumstances that align with your vision will start to appear, often in ways you least expect. This is not coincidence. It is the natural outcome of living in alignment with the creative power of your imagination. Your thoughts and beliefs are like magnets that draw experiences into your life. The more you focus on the positive, the more the positive will find its way to you. Your imagination is the tool that can help you break free from the limitations of your current circumstances and create the life you desire. It is not something that exists outside of you, but rather a power within that you can tap into at any time. By recognizing the role of your imagination in shaping your reality, you can begin to direct it consciously and purposefully. Whether you are visualizing success, overcoming challenges, or designing the future you want, your imagination is the key to unlocking your full potential. The world around you is simply a reflection of the world within you, and through the power of imagination, you have the ability to shape both. The idea of responding rather than reacting is one of the most transformative concepts you can embrace in your life. It carries the potential to drastically change the way you experience your interactions with the world and the people around you. Often we find ourselves reacting to the situations we encounter in life, particularly when they are challenging or difficult. This reaction is often automatic, driven by emotion, fear, or ingrained patterns of behavior. We act impulsively without giving much thought to how our response will influence the situation or our state of mind. However, there is a profound difference between reacting to the world around you and consciously responding to it, and this difference is where true power lies. When you react to life, you are in essence giving up your power. You are allowing external circumstances, emotions, and impulses to dictate your actions. This leaves you at the mercy of whatever is happening in the moment. If something unexpected or stressful occurs, your first instinct may be to panic, become frustrated, or lash out in anger. This automatic reaction only serves to perpetuate the situation, often leading to feelings of regret, frustration, or guilt afterward. In the heat of the moment, it is difficult to see beyond the immediate emotions you are experiencing. As a result, the situation escalates and the cycle of negative emotions continues. When you respond instead of react, you take control of the situation. A response is thoughtful, intentional, and rooted in your values rather than in your emotions. It is a conscious choice made from a place of self-awareness and clarity. Responding means taking a moment to pause, breathe, and reflect before acting. This pause allows you to process your emotions and thoughts, helping you to separate yourself from the immediate rush of feelings that may arise. It gives you the opportunity to choose how you want to engage with the situation, rather than being driven by impulse. When you respond, you retain your power and are no longer a passive participant in the events of your life. One of the greatest benefits of responding rather than reacting is the ability to maintain your inner peace. Life is full of challenges, unexpected events, and moments of conflict. But you can choose how you engage with them. When you allow yourself to react impulsively, it is easy to get caught up in the chaos, and before you know it, your sense of peace has been disrupted. On the other hand, when you respond mindfully, you are able to maintain a sense of calm and composure no matter what is happening around you. This is because your response is based on a grounded, centered state of being, not on the turbulence of the moment. You are able to look at the situation from a wider perspective and make decisions that align with your values and goals, rather than being swayed by fleeting emotions. This ability to respond also allows you to engage more effectively with others. Many conflicts in relationships arise because individuals react to each other in hurt, frustration, or anger. These reactions often escalate tensions and create division. However, when you respond thoughtfully, you create an opportunity for healing, understanding, and resolution. Instead of reacting out of hurt or fear, You can choose to respond with compassion, empathy, and clarity. You can listen with an open heart without judgment and speak from a place of understanding. This shift in approach fosters better communication and deeper connections, both with yourself and with others. Responding rather than reacting also allows you to make decisions from a place of power. Often when we react, we are simply trying to deal with the immediate discomfort or urgency of a situation. We make decisions quickly without fully considering the consequences because we are overwhelmed by emotion. However, when we take the time to respond, we create space for wiser, more thoughtful decision making. We can weigh our options, consider the long-term implications, and choose the path that is most in alignment with our desires and values. This approach leads to more purposeful actions, ones that are in line with the life we want to create, rather than being driven by the whims of momentary emotions. Responding rather than reacting allows you to take responsibility for your life. When you react to external circumstances, you are essentially saying that your happiness, peace, and sense of well-being are dependent on the world around you. You are placing the power to control your emotional state outside of yourself. In contrast, when you choose to respond, you are taking ownership of your reactions. You are saying, I am the creator of my experience and I choose to respond in a way that serves me. This shift in perspective is incredibly empowering. It gives you back control over your emotions, your actions, and your life. Instead of allowing life to dictate your mood, you become the one who sets the tone for how you will engage with the world. In practice, responding rather than reacting requires a level of self-awareness and emotional intelligence. It requires you to be conscious of your emotional triggers and to have the ability to recognize when you are about to react impulsively. This awareness is the first step in creating a more mindful response. It may take time to develop the ability to pause before reacting, especially if you are used to responding impulsively. However, with practice, it becomes easier. The more you cultivate mindfulness and self-awareness, the more natural it becomes to respond in a calm, deliberate manner. You begin to create new, healthier patterns of behavior, ones that lead to greater peace, clarity, and control over your life. The key to responding rather than reacting is to always remember that you have a choice. You can choose to respond from a place of inner strength, groundedness, and clarity, or you can choose to react impulsively, allowing emotions to dictate your actions. The more you choose to respond thoughtfully, the more you will find that life becomes easier to navigate. You will find that you no longer feel overwhelmed by external circumstances, and you will have a greater sense of control over your emotions and experiences. By responding rather than reacting, you unlock the power to create the life you desire, one that is rooted in intention, peace, and wisdom. This practice allows you to step into your highest potential and live in alignment with your true self, no matter what the world may throw your way. The concept of acting as if is one of the most profound and effective practices you can embrace when it comes to manifesting the life you desire. It is not simply about pretending or putting on a facade, but rather it is a deeply transformative exercise in embodying the traits, behaviors, and mindset of the person you wish to become. By acting as if you have already achieved your goals or are already living the life you desire, you align your actions, thoughts, and energy with that vision. This powerful approach to life shifts your state of being and puts you on the fast track toward realizing your dreams. When you act as if, you are stepping into the energy of success and abundance before it has fully manifested in your outer world. It is about living in the end result, as if the future you desire is already here. The key to this practice is that it works on both a psychological and energetic level. On the psychological side, when you begin to act as if, you begin to reprogram your mind to believe that your desired reality is already true. This is because our brains cannot easily distinguish between what is real and what is vividly imagined. When you consistently act as if, you are impressing that reality upon your subconscious mind, which then begins to seek out ways to bring that vision into tangible form. This process of alignment between your internal world and external world is one of the most powerful ways to bring about change in your life. In addition to the psychological benefits, acting as if also shifts your energy. We are all vibrational beings, constantly emitting energy that resonates with certain frequencies. The way you think, feel, and act directly influences the frequency you are transmitting to the world. When you act as if you are already the person you want to be, you raise your energy to match the vibration of that desired state. This energetic shift is magnetic. It draws experiences, people, and opportunities that match that vibration into your life. Just as a magnet attracts metal objects, your elevated energy attracts experiences that align with the vision you are embodying. When you act as if you have already succeeded, for example, your energy will attract more success into your life. The practice of acting as if is deeply rooted in the understanding that your external circumstances do not have to dictate your inner state. Most people wait for their circumstances to change before they believe they can act a certain way. They wait for the job promotion to start feeling successful, for the money to arrive before feeling abundant, or for a relationship to improve before feeling loved and valued. However, this waiting game only perpetuates the belief that external circumstances must first change before you can experience the emotions and qualities you desire. The truth, however, is that the opposite is true. It is your inner state that influences your external reality. When you act as if, you are creating the conditions for the reality you desire to take root. The way you think, feel, and behave now is what shapes the future you are stepping into. For example, if you are aiming for greater wealth and financial abundance, acting as if might involve making decisions from a place of abundance, even if your current circumstances don't fully reflect that abundance. You might choose to spend, save, and invest in ways that align with the person you envision yourself to be, a financially free and successful individual. You may begin to feel more confident in your financial decisions, knowing that your future self is already aligned with that success. This practice extends to all areas of life. Acting as if you're already healthy, vibrant, and full of energy can lead you to adopt habits that align with that vision. You may start eating healthier, exercising more, and making choices that support your well-being, even if you're not yet physically where you want to be. Acting as if you are will bring you closer to that state. Similarly, if you wish to be a confident and successful public speaker, acting as if you already possess those qualities will prompt you to take actions that move you toward your goal. You might start speaking more assertively, engaging in opportunities to speak in front of others, and cultivating a mindset that is unshaken by self-doubt. The more you act as if, the more your confidence will grow, and eventually you will embody the very qualities you wish to develop. Acting as if is not just a mental exercise, it is a full-body experience. It requires you to embody the person you want to become on every level, emotionally, mentally, physically, and energetically. This is where the power lies. You are not merely pretending or hoping for change. You are taking active steps to align yourself with the version of you that already has what you desire. By doing so, you begin to unlock the door to your fullest potential. The world around you begins to shift to reflect this new identity you are creating. The law of attraction, which operates on the principle that like attracts like, will begin to work in your favor. When you act as if, you start to resonate with the energy of success, abundance, love, and fulfillment, and the world will respond in kind. One of the most transformative aspects of this practice is that it fosters an unwavering sense of belief in your own abilities. When you act as if, you start to believe that you are worthy of your desires. You stop waiting for validation from the outside world and begin to recognize that you have everything you need within you to achieve your dreams. Acting as if helps you to eliminate self-doubt, because you are choosing to embody the person who is already living the life you want. This belief in yourself and your own power is the catalyst for creating real, lasting change. It's important to note that the practice of acting as if does not require perfection or an absence of setbacks. Life will always present challenges and obstacles, but when you act as if, you handle those challenges differently. Instead of seeing them as insurmountable barriers, you view them as opportunities for growth and learning. You recognize that even the most difficult moments are part of the journey, and that they do not define you or your future success. Acting as if means staying aligned with your vision, even when the outer world does not reflect it fully yet. It means trusting in the process, knowing that your actions, energy, and mindset are bringing you closer to the reality you are creating. This approach also allows you to let go of the need for immediate results. Often, people become discouraged when they don't see instant manifestations of their desires. However, acting as if requires patience and faith in the process. When you act as if, you are not attached to the timing of your goals. You trust that the universe will respond in its own perfect timing. The key is to remain consistent in your actions, thoughts, and energy, knowing that every step you take is bringing you closer to the person you are becoming. Acting as if is an invitation to step into the highest version of yourself. It is a call to live in alignment with your fullest potential, not waiting for the outside world to change, but changing from within. When you act as if you are already the person you want to be, you transcend the limitations of your current reality and begin to experience life from a place of empowerment, belief, and possibility. This practice is one of the most potent tools you can use to bring your desires into being. And as you continue to act as if, you will find that the world around you begins to reflect the truth of who you truly are. When you decide to act as if, you are choosing to engage with the world in a way that not only manifests your desires, but also transforms the way you experience life itself. This act of living in alignment with your desires before they are fully realized is both an act of self-empowerment and trust. It is about becoming the person who already embodies the traits, qualities, and life you aspire to have. This mindset is grounded in the understanding that the external world is not what shapes us. Rather, it is our internal state, our thoughts, beliefs, and emotions that shape the reality we experience. When you begin to act as if, you consciously create the conditions for your dreams to manifest. You no longer wait for circumstances to change before you feel empowered or fulfilled. Instead, you take full responsibility for the way you think, feel, and behave, and through these conscious choices, you begin to change the course of your life. This process of acting as if is deeply transformative because it requires you to step into a new version of yourself. It calls on you to embody the qualities, characteristics, and mindset of the person you wish to become. It is not about pretending or faking it. It is about fully immersing yourself in the energy of your desired outcome. For example, if you want to become more confident, acting as if means engaging with life as though you are already a confident person. This may involve taking risks, speaking your truth, and stepping into situations where you would normally feel uncomfortable. It is about pushing beyond your current limitations and allowing yourself to grow into the person you are destined to be. You might not yet have the outward circumstances that reflect your newfound confidence, but your internal state will begin to shift. As you act as if, your actions, thoughts, and energy will start to align with your desired outcome. One of the most powerful aspects of acting as if is that it helps you overcome the internal resistance that often holds you back. Fear, doubt, and insecurity are common emotions that prevent people from taking the necessary steps toward their dreams. These emotions often arise from the belief that you must have everything in place before you can act. You may tell yourself, "I will take the first step once I feel ready," or "I will do this when I have more resources." However, this mindset keeps you stuck in a cycle of waiting for the perfect moment. Acting as if breaks this cycle by forcing you to step into your vision now, even if the circumstances are not yet ideal. It encourages you to take action in the face of fear, knowing that each step you take builds momentum and strengthens your resolve. When you act as if, you are also shifting the way you perceive your challenges and obstacles. Rather than seeing them as insurmountable barriers, you begin to view them as opportunities for growth. Life's challenges become stepping stones on the path to your desired outcome, and each obstacle presents an opportunity to prove to yourself that you are capable of handling whatever comes your way. When you embody the mindset of the person who has already achieved their goals, you approach difficulties with a sense of resilience and determination. You no longer shrink away from challenges, but instead, you meet them head-on with the confidence that you will find a solution. This shift in perspective also enables you to cultivate a greater sense of trust in the process. One of the reasons why people often fail to act on their desires is because they lack trust in themselves and in the universe. They may fear failure, judgment, or rejection, which keeps them from taking bold action. Acting as if requires you to let go of this fear and trust that the universe will support you as you move toward your goals. When you act as if, you are telling the universe that you believe in your own potential and that you are ready to receive the abundance and success you desire. This trust creates a powerful magnetic force that draws opportunities, people, and circumstances into your life that align with your vision. When you take consistent, aligned action toward your goals, you create a sense of accountability with yourself. You are no longer waiting for something external to change before you make a move. Instead, you are fully engaged in the process of becoming the person you want to be. This commitment helps you stay focused and motivated, even when things are not progressing as quickly as you would like. Every action you take, no matter how small, is a step toward your desired reality. Even if it feels like nothing is changing on the surface, the act of taking consistent, aligned action is shifting your energy and sending a clear signal to the universe that you are serious about your goals. Acting as if also encourages you to embrace the unknown and let go of the need for certainty. Many people are paralyzed by the fear of the unknown, feeling that they must have everything figured out before they can take the next step. However, the reality is that life rarely offers certainty. The process of manifestation involves uncertainty and faith. When you act as if, you are stepping into the unknown with trust and confidence, knowing that you do not need all the answers right away. You are willing to take risks, make mistakes, and learn along the way. This willingness to step into the unknown is what opens the door to new opportunities and experiences that would not be available to you if you stayed in your comfort zone. Through the practice of acting as if, you also begin to develop a deeper sense of self-worth and self-belief. As you act in alignment with the person you want to become, you are reaffirming to yourself that you are worthy of your desires. You stop waiting for validation from others or from external circumstances and begin to recognize that you have everything you need within you to create the life you want. The more you act as if, the more you strengthen your sense of self and cultivate a deep inner confidence that is not dependent on external approval. This self-belief becomes a powerful force that propels you toward your dreams. Regardless of any challenges or setbacks you may encounter along the way, acting as if allows you to fully embrace the present moment and experience life from a place of empowerment and joy. Many people spend their time waiting for the future, believing that happiness and fulfillment will only come once their goals are achieved. However, acting as if helps you recognize that the power to create the life you want is available to you right now. You do not have to wait for external circumstances to align before you can experience joy, fulfillment, and success. By acting as if, you tap into the energy of your desired future and bring it into your present experience. This not only accelerates the manifestation process, but also allows you to enjoy the journey along the way. Acting as if is a powerful tool that enables you to become the person you wish to be, right here and right now. It helps you overcome self-doubt, embrace uncertainty, and take inspired action toward your dreams. It transforms the way you relate to challenges and obstacles, turning them into opportunities for growth and learning. By embodying the qualities and mindset of the person you want to become, you create a powerful alignment between your inner and outer worlds, which sets the stage for your dreams to manifest. Through this practice, you step into your true power and create a life that reflects your deepest desires. The act of acting as if can be seen as one of the most profound shifts you can make when it comes to transforming your life and aligning with your dreams. It is more than just pretending to be someone you are not. It is about fully embodying the person you desire to become. In essence, it is about stepping into your future self now, regardless of your current circumstances. This mindset brings a remarkable power to your journey, one that bridges the gap between where you are and where you want to be. It involves becoming the person who has already achieved what you desire, acting, thinking, and living as though your dreams are already a reality. This approach fosters a deep sense of alignment within yourself, enabling your thoughts, emotions, actions, and energy to vibrate in harmony with your desires. At the core of this practice is the understanding that your reality is shaped by your thoughts and the energy you put out into the world. By acting as if, you are aligning your inner world with the outer reality you wish to create. You are not waiting for the external world to change first. Instead, you are choosing to change internally. This shift happens at a fundamental level, altering how you perceive yourself, your goals, and the world around you. Your inner state directly influences the actions you take, the opportunities you attract, and the experiences you create. Therefore, acting as if puts you in the driver's seat of your own life, steering it toward your desires. The beauty of acting as if lies in its simplicity and effectiveness. When you begin to act as if, you are taking immediate steps toward making your desires a reality, even before they have fully materialized. This shift in thinking can lead to radical changes in your life because it influences not just your mindset but also your behavior and actions. Instead of waiting for external validation or circumstances to shift, you are creating the conditions for success from within. It's about developing the confidence to live as if your dreams are already fulfilled, even if they haven't physically manifested yet. This confidence is not based on external validation, but on the knowing that you are already on the path to creating your desired future. One of the greatest benefits of acting as if is that it allows you to overcome the tendency to wait for everything to be perfect before you take action. Many people get stuck in the trap of waiting until they feel ready, believing that they must wait for the right moment, the perfect set of circumstances, or the approval of others before they can take meaningful steps toward their goals. However, this mindset is limiting and keeps you stuck in a state of inaction. By acting as if, you break free from this cycle of waiting. You realize that the best time to start is now, and the best way to move forward is by acting as though you are already the person who has achieved the success, happiness, or fulfillment you desire. You stop waiting for the stars to align and start creating your own alignment. In addition to overcoming the tendency to wait, acting as if also helps to dissolve any doubts or fears that may be holding you back. When you act as if, you shift from a place of uncertainty to a place of certainty. You stop questioning whether or not you are capable of achieving your goals and instead start operating from a place of unwavering belief. This belief is not based on evidence or external validation, but on the inner knowing that you are capable of becoming the person you wish to be. You begin to trust the process, knowing that each action you take, no matter how small, is bringing you closer to your desired reality. Acting as if builds this internal confidence, enabling you to move forward with courage and determination. This practice is particularly powerful because it taps into the power of the subconscious mind. Our subconscious mind is responsible for shaping much of our reality, and it operates based on the beliefs and patterns we hold. By acting as if, you are sending a clear message to your subconscious mind that you are ready to step into a new reality. The more you act as if, the more you reinforce this new belief system, which then begins to shape your external world. Your subconscious mind cannot tell the difference between what is real and what is vividly imagined. So when you act as if, you begin to reprogram your mind to align with the reality you wish to create. Over time, your beliefs will shift and your actions will become more aligned with your goals. This process creates a self-fulfilling prophecy. As you act as if, you begin to attract experiences that align with your desired outcome. Another benefit of acting as if is that it helps you develop resilience and perseverance. As you step into the person you want to become, you will undoubtedly face challenges and setbacks along the way. However, when you act as if, you are better equipped to handle these challenges with grace and determination. You stop viewing obstacles as roadblocks and start seeing them as opportunities for growth and learning. Because you are already embodying the mindset and behaviors of the person who has achieved success, You approach difficulties with the belief that you can overcome them. You understand that setbacks are not signs of failure, but simply part of the process of growth. This shift in perspective empowers you to keep going even when things get tough. Acting as if also cultivates a sense of gratitude and appreciation for the present moment. Often people focus so much on the future that they forget to appreciate where they are right now. However, by acting as if, you bring your desired future into the present moment, allowing yourself to experience joy, fulfillment, and satisfaction now. You begin to see your current life as a stepping stone to your desired reality, and you can appreciate the progress you've made along the way. This practice of gratitude reinforces your connection to your desires and helps you stay focused on the positive aspects of your life, rather than what you feel is lacking. Gratitude amplifies the energy you are putting out into the world, attracting more of the same into your life. Acting as if enhances your ability to take inspired action. When you embody the person you want to become, you no longer second-guess yourself or hesitate when opportunities arise. Instead, you take decisive action with the confidence that you are on the right path. This inspired action is not driven by fear or doubt, but by a deep sense of alignment with your true self and your goals. As you act as if, you begin to trust your intuition and follow the guidance that arises from within. You stop waiting for external approval and start taking ownership of your own path. The most beautiful part of acting as if is that it is not a one-time act, but a way of living. It becomes a way of being rather than something you do temporarily. As you continue to act as if, you begin to embody the person you wish to become more fully. Your thoughts, actions, and energy all align with your vision, and your reality begins to shift accordingly. The more you live in this state of alignment, the more your desired life will manifest before you. Acting as if is not just about achieving your goals. It is about becoming the person who is capable of achieving them. It is about living in a way that reflects your highest potential and creating the life you were always meant to live. Through acting as if, you become the architect of your own reality. You no longer wait for circumstances to change. You create the conditions for success from within. This practice empowers you to take full responsibility for your life, your actions, and your future. It aligns your inner and outer worlds, bridging the gap between where you are and where you want to be. By embodying the energy of your desires, you begin to attract everything you need to manifest them. Ultimately, acting as if is the key to living a life of purpose, fulfillment, and joy. It is the practice that allows you to step into your highest potential and create the life you truly desire.